subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and approve the proclamation of state of emergency declared by Mr. President in Rivers State of Nigeria. The Senate further directs that the declaration of the state of emergency stated in the proclamation document and the mandate of Mr. President to review, and hereby mandates the President to review and even to terminate the state of emergency at any given time, but not later than 6 months. The Senate further resolved that Section 11, subsection 4 be invoked, providing the National Assembly the authority to set up a joint ad hoc committee of both chambers to oversight the administration of Rivers State henceforth. The Senate further resolves that a committee of eminent Nigerians be set up to reconcile the warring groups within the government of Rivers State within the period of the state of emergency in Rivers State. The Senate further resolved that a committee to reconcile the warring factions in Rivers State should consist of eminent Nigerians. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the closed session? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate hereby approves the proclamation of the state of emergency 2025 declared by Mr. President in Rivers State of Nigeria as amended pursuant to Section 60, pursuant to Section 60 of the Constitution, Section 305, subsection 2, and pursuant to our rules 1, sub B of the standing orders of the Senate, and also pursuant to rules 134, 135, and 136 of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Those in support of the declaration of the state of emergency in Rivers State say aye. And those against say nay. The ayes have it in unanimity. Distinguished colleagues, let me thank you for your cooperation and patriotic zeal as enunciated, as expressed, as elucidated, and as displayed on the floor of the Senate today. It is our hope that this declaration of a state of emergency in Rivers State by Mr. President will bring peace and ensure speedy resolution of all the issues that led to the impasse. And I hope that all will abide by this and use this window of opportunity within the next 6 months to resolve all issues so that we can have peace and tranquility with good governance in Rivers State of Nigeria. I so thank my colleagues. Leader of the Senate.
Is to move that the Senate adjourns temporarily and come back in 30 minutes for us to adopt the votes and proceedings. So I move for adjournment for 1 hour.
you for your patriotism, your dedication. Here again, we are full. As we were able to form more than 2/3 when you consider the leadership in the proceedings of the morning. And this afternoon proceedings, we have also met the mandatory quorum and surpassed. So as we are about to consider the votes and proceedings being distributed. So let me say this is an uncommon dedication to duties, and Almighty Allah in this period of Ramadan and God Almighty in this period of Lent will protect you and your families, bless you, and then keep you safe and grant you the wisdom and good health to continue to save your fatherland. Page 1495, page 1496. And those again say nay. The ayes have it. Let me thank all distinguished senators once again for their patriotism and their zeal to save Nigeria, and pray that the votes and proceedings and the content therein will bring lasting peace to Rivers State, and all that all warring factions should sheath their swords and get ready to sit on a round table. Distinguished people, you are a former governor, I'm a former governor. Let us, please, off the mic, sit down. Please be seated. I watch you on television. Preside.
Make my point for which.
Stand up and make a point.
Thank you, Mr. President. Please, we must have mutual respect for all of our colleagues, okay? And I do have regard for you, particularly as our presiding officer.
I appreciate
And I think that should be reciprocal. Now, the point of order, Mr. President, Henry Siraki Dixon, Bayelsa West. The point of order I rose to address is to draw the attention of the presiding officer and our colleagues to the specific provisions of our rules. Each one of us is guided by two documents: the Constitution of the Federal Republic, upon which we were sworn, and the rules that govern our proceedings. The proclamation has been read to us, and I wanted to draw your attention, Mr. President, respectfully, and the attention of all our colleagues, to the specific provisions of our rules. Order 135. The framers of this are very exhaustive. Once you say state of emergency declaration, there is a procedure.
Can you read 135?
Let me read it. Say, look, 133. When the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, by instrument published in the Gazette of the Government of the Federation, issues a proclamation of a state of emergency in the Federation or of any part thereof, he shall immediately after the publication, A, B, C, D. Now, since you have read it, now let me go to 135. The President shall, in a closed session, brief the Senate on the circumstances of the proclamation of a state of emergency.
Your point of order is upheld.
Thank you. So let's go to the closed session.
Please, he was about to move the motion for a closed session.
Thank you, sir.
In line with our rules. The rule is embedded in the heart of the Senate leader. He was about to move that motion for us to go to closed session.
Yes.
When you raise it, but I'm happy that you are reading your rules. So your point of order is happily upheld. Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President,
those in support that we go into closed session to enable us comply with our rules, circulating the Gazette, and at the same time discussing matters of urgent national importance, say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria, on the state of affairs in Rivers State. And the Senate resolved as follows. 1. The Senate invokes the powers conferred on it by Section 305, subsection 2 of the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, and approve the proclamation of state of emergency declared by Mr. President in Rivers State of Nigeria. The Senate further directs that the declaration of the state of emergency stated in the proclamation document and the mandate of Mr. President to review, and hereby mandates the President to review and even to terminate the state of emergency at any given time, but not later than 6 months. The Senate further resolved that Section 11, subsection 4 be invoked, providing the National Assembly the authority to set up a joint ad hoc committee of both chambers to oversight the administration of Rivers State henceforth. The Senate further resolves that a committee of eminent Nigerians be set up to reconcile the warring groups within the government of Rivers State within the period of the state of emergency in Rivers State. The Senate further resolved that a committee to reconcile the warring factions in Rivers State should consist of eminent Nigerians. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the closed session? Distinguished colleagues, the Senate hereby approves the proclamation of the state of emergency 2020.